morning, good morning. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. I wanted to talk about today about Diablo 4 and my first impressions of it. I've played at least 24 hours and I'm 24 hours into it now, and for me in my start, I've played pretty much through all of the classes. I started my first with the druid because I wanted to I saw the druid's playstyle and I wanted to summon thunder and just bring down a lot of nature magic. That's what I wanted to do. And then throughout it, I mean, like, I think for me, let me give you my experience with Diablo before I really get into this impression. Because I started playing Diablo with Diablo 3. Like that was my first Diablo game. I never even knew what it was. My mom came back randomly one day because she was buying me and my friends a game that we could all play together. I thought it was about to be Fable 3. I thought it was a completely different game. But again, it was Diablo. So I played it. I loved it. My friends weren't too much fans of it, but I loved it. And I dumped so many hours into that game. I wish I could tell you how many hours. But I played it on the 360. And so with playing it, I really loved it, and I delved more time into it. Then I got myself a computer, a PC or whatever, and then I played it on there. And if I could look at I don't know how I would look at my Diablo 3 playtime on through through the Blizzard platform, through Battle.net, but if I do find it, I'll show you it on the screen. But I know for me, I put a lot of time into this game. Like I really loved this game. Like it was really fun for me. And I went when Diablo 2 Resurrected came out, I played that too. Like I played Diablo 2 Resurrected. Not as much time because to me it just seemed like it was a little more complicated. And so I want to delve more time into it because the game was legitimately fun. It was just a matter of I haven't played ARPGs like that and delved so much time in it. I'm more of a casual player when it comes to that. So again, Diablo 2, I just feel like it's more of a time commitment, and not to say that it's a bad game. I do not think Diablo 2 is a bad game by any means. Especially the Resurrected. I like the features that come with it, and I think it looks visually great. And I think I'm going to delve some more time into it when I have more time to do it. But when I heard Diablo 4 was coming out, oh yeah, your boy was ready. I wanted to. I was sitting over here watching trailers, watching all this. I was ready to play it. This is this game that I thought was going to be really cool, and it came out. And I didn't say anything about the game yet until now. That's why I'm here now. And for me and my first impressions, I'm kind of in the middle of I like the game and I like the story. I like the story direction of it. I like the beats of it. And I love how it plays. But I do have a couple of gripes with it just in the first couple of hours. Right now, I'm at my highest level character is my Necromancer at level 34. So I am not done with the game. I'm not at end game. I'm kind of in the middle, just getting through the story and doing all that exploring around. So I'm taking my time with it. And so that's where I'm at. When I get to end game, when I get to finishing up and that in getting to the end, then I'll give my thoughts on the game after that. But I'm just wanted to get these first impressions out here so they are known and so I can compare them for later. So I think for Diablo 4, I kind of have a few gripes, just a few. I think let me just list them out for you. There's three things. First, I don't like the fact that the leveling system, or like, how is this? The leveling, or how the open world works in conjunction with the leveling system. Like everything scaling to your level no matter what. Personally, for me, I would prefer that only in the circumstances of like playing with a group of friends. I think is very good then, but it's just kind of like it kind of undermines that feeling of power. Like it doesn't make me feel more powerful because everything is still up to my level. So even if I get to these higher increments of power, it doesn't really feel that way. The only time that I really felt like I got higher power was like an ability. So for Necromancer, I believe it's called Blood Surge. That ability, I felt more powerful due to that, where you taking on the blood and doing Nova. That I felt more powerful. With my minions, I felt more powerful. With these smaller increments of power, then yeah, then those are the things. Those are the things that made me feel more powerful. But I never felt more powerful from leveling up my gear or getting new gear or getting new legendaries. And I feel like, secondly, to go into the second point, because this is going to segue into that, with the legendaries, I don't feel like they're as impactful as they were in other games. Like I don't feel like with Diablo 3, there were so many stats, just so much that the legendary was doing that it could change your entire playstyle, make you go focus into one thing or do something that just it's just crazy. And maybe those levels, maybe that level of power will be coming through time. But right now, I just don't feel as powerful as I would in other games, like in other Diablo games, personally. Like I don't feel like I feel that power. Like I really don't. And that's just me personally. Like I just think for me, I prefer to feel like I'm growing at some point. Because to me, from being level 34 to being level 6, I don't really feel much of a difference. And that may just be the way I'm leveling my character because I haven't followed a leveling guide or anything. I haven't been um trying to really focus in on micromanaging or doing the most optimal way of leveling my character. I haven't done that because I just kind of wanted to go into it fresh before I started going into all that. And I'm sure if I did do that, then I would feel differently, but I'm trying to look at this from a casual's perspective. Like you're casually going through the story, you're casually going through all this. And I don't think Diablo 4 is really that hard. I don't think it's really that difficult. Like and I don't think that difficulty needs to be changed because you can choose which difficulty you want. And I'm like, I think with difficulty in this game, it's perfect. It's perfectly fine. I think it's good. I have no problem with it. It's not too difficult to the point where, oh my goodness, like I can't do it or whatever. I think it's fine. And then thirdly, I think the difference in class strength is kind of really apparent, and that's always been in Diablo. Like, there's always more classes that are stronger. But I feel like when I started off with the Druid, because I got the Druid to level 27, I believe, and I just didn't feel as powerful. Like, I didn't feel like I was really doing much of anything. Like, I felt kind of limited when playing the Druid because I was playing it as more focusing on the elements and whatever. And I feel like with legendaries that would really impact my play style, I feel like that would have improved it. And maybe in the late game that would be, but I feel like if I have to put in so much time just to feel some increment of power, I think there's a problem with the leveling or the way that power works in the game. I don't want it to be like Diablo 3, legendaries dropping everywhere. Woo! Like I don't need that. I don't need that. Like I don't need that to really make the game be good to me. I just feel like the power, like I don't feel as powerful going through all these levels, and it doesn't feel like leveling up once or leveling up a couple of times doesn't really feel like it's giving me that same impact of power. And then with legendaries, their stats, it's just like they're not as explosive as I'd like them to be. Like they're not as impactful. Like getting a legendary is supposed to be feeling impactful. And I think the only time that a legendary really felt impactful was maybe Vigo's protecting amulet. Like the one you get after completing Act 1. When you get hit while not being healthy, a magical bubble is summoned and making you immune. That to me is crazy. I'm like, many people still use it. I'm using it. And I'm like, that mess is cool. That's cool. And I think I just think with different play styles and different legendaries, I feel like the legendaries should enhance a specific play style. And I feel like it's not as much as it would be in other games. Like in Diablo 3 or Diablo 2, I don't feel like really they really were as impactful. And I think that works as to a detriment to the game. And maybe because I'm expecting it to be, maybe because my expectations were different, but it's just like I kind of I didn't need it to play exactly like Diablo 3. Diablo 3 is definitely my favorite Diablo, even though it's more of a casual one, and many people may like it or dislike it, and that's fine. It's just my personal favorite Diablo because the first one I went into, I really enjoyed myself, and it was a good game to me. So to me, going from that and feeling that power, I feel like in every Diablo, people want to feel that power, and I don't feel like it's as accentuated in this title in Diablo 4. I don't feel like it's as good or as much of a, like, you don't get that that dopamine rush of literally feeling like you are now at another level of power. You just kind of feel the same throughout, except for like specific abilities. And I heard with sorcerer, it can be a lot different. Like you got those abilities that make you feel like they make you feel strong. They make you feel like you are really heavy impact. And maybe that's just me wanting to play that, but maybe that's just me like I need to play sorcerer or something. But to me, I'm like, my favorite class in the game right now is necromancer, just because of the fact I love the minion play style. I love all that, and then also sucking everybody off in the middle of the battlefield and killing them with their own blood damage. I love that. I love that fantasy. And if I put more time into druid and really optimize it, then I'm sure it could be better. But those are kind of my thoughts on like the early to mid game part of it, because I feel like I'm in the middle of the game because I'm in Act 4 right now. So I've been taking my time more or less with this title, like, because if I was really just aiming to speed run it all the way through, then literally I would be done with it already. But I've just been taking my time going through dungeons, looking around, doing just exploring this open world, because I feel like if you're in an open world, you should explore more of it. Like, that's just the way I play the game. Then also, I do want to add one of the other issues, but I think this will be solved with time, with more patches and whatever. It's just like I've encountered some glitches in the game where, like, for example, I'll be walking through, like, let's say a snowy area or any area in the game, and then I might just get clipped and stuck into something. Like, I just can't walk forward, or it may just be a lot of lag. And I'm like, majority of the game, I don't feel any lag, but right here, I'm feeling a lot of lag, like it's stopping me from moving, and I just don't understand where it's coming from. Or like with the necromancer quest to get the golem, in there it was super laggy. Like, I don't know if this is something that was happening commonly, but when I went into that area, it was really bad. Like, it felt like I was desynced with my character, and then the actions that I was doing, it wasn't adding up. Luckily, I still made it through there because I'm the GOAT. But literally, when I was in there, it was awful. But then when I came out, everything worked fine. So I think that's maybe just a glitch in the game. And these are not detriments to the game. It's just some things that I noticed while playing it. I don't think these things ruin the game or ruin the experience. I think the general experience of Diablo, I think, is pretty good so far. I just feel like some of these things could be worked on, like the leveling and making it feel like we're more powerful. Because we're sitting over here fighting the forces of hell, and I don't want to feel like I'm just hitting them with like a wet noodle or something. Like, that's just what it feels like. Because with the necromancer, their basic attack, it doesn't feel like the basic attack's doing much of anything. And maybe that's just because I'm playing necromancer, because I know with barbarian it was more of a feeling more of a feeling of like my abilities were more impactful and I felt a little stronger. But I'm not at the same point in the game as I am with the necromancer, because the necromancer I'm far enough with, and the barbarian I'm kind of more in early getting into mid game. So I think trying to work on these things, and Blizzard can make that like balance it more, like balance the leveling more and balance the world more. I think could be a really great title. When the seasons come out, I want to know how the battle pass impacts the game. Like, I want the battle pass and the shop to be completely separate from the game. Like, I do not have a problem with buying cosmetics for the game as long as there isn't a point of where it goes to the Diablo Immortal route. Like, I do not want that. If that happens to this game, then I'm quitting. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, the shop should be something of a choice. It should not be something that is a make or break for this game. I paid $70 for this game. I shouldn't need to pay more money to feel more powerful in this game. It should come naturally. That's my only thoughts on the monetization scheme. I'm like, I don't have no problem if they do the skins thing. The way the shop is now is fine, but I already know that Blizzard has a real interesting time messing around and wanting some money. So I just need, like, if they make the monetization good, then I don't think anybody would really have a problem with them monetizing and making the skins and whatever, and people want to look sick. That's fine. That's completely fine and completely understandable. But I think if they can really work on these issues in this game, I think it can be a really good game. Like, I think it's really good right now. I just feel like the thing that's from good, making it good to great, I think it's just the fact that of leveling and making the players feel more powerful, because they're kind of more restrictive on that. And I'm like, I don't understand the point of making it where the players don't feel powerful. Like, I don't think, and I think this is a common criticism for the game, is just not feeling as powerful as we'd like. Like, we're just not there. And it's not like we haven't played through some majority of the game. It's just like I kind of feel the same as an early game than now I am in mid game. And maybe I feel a little bit weaker, but like right now I can't tell the difference between an early game player and a mid game player, because we're all doing the same amount of damage. It's just like I'm not really doing much more. Like with Blood Surge I am, but just I think these things can really just really improve the game and really improve that player experience. But in general, I think so far, I think the game's pretty good. Like, I like it. I like it so far, and I would recommend this to anyone who wants to get into Diablo, or get into just. It's a really good looking game. It's really good. I love it. Like, I've loved it so far. I wouldn't have put it like at least 24 hours into it. It's just these small little these smaller things, or these things that are a part of the process of playing this game. I think if you can improve these things, then this game will be amazing. Like, I think it will be absolutely amazing. And then when the seasons come around, then it's going to be really good. I think if they can really get the seasons right, then we'll be chilling. Like, this will be another great Diablo, and we'll be all right. But this all really depends if Blizzard is going to take this feedback and actually listen. And so far, so good. Like, they've been making balance patches and everything. I think they are listening, but I need them to listen to more and actually make these changes, because I feel like with these changes you can make the game better. Like, I think it would just that player experience make it better. And I want to hear your opinions about it, like what you think about what I said, and your own personal opinions, because I think the having that conversation, and so that I can have some better understanding, because maybe you've played further in the game than me, maybe you've already beat the game already, but I think having more perspectives and actually learning more about this game will help me be more influenced when I make my actual final review over the game. And I can say what I think, say whatever, and then I can say what I changed and how I feel and everything. I think for that, if you all can help me with that, I would greatly appreciate it. But it's your boy Zenra. I'll catch you boys later.